Good morning. It's 3 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Monday morning local stuff. Erin's got it up next.
A snowstorm in North Carolina has an impact in Shreveport. We'll talk more about that. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running. We'll have that too. And a big pay raise for some local health workers.
Actually, if you talk to people at the Perkins campaign, he hit the ground running in a tuxedo. And he's coming in this morning at what time? About 10 past?
I think it's on the phone, but we'll chat with him this morning.
I think you need to, suddenly
He's
his arms.
He's a busy man.
He had some big arms to begin with. They're even bigger this morning.
He might show up. You never know.
Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A snowstorm in North Carolina forcing the cancellation of a few flights between Shreveport and Charlotte. Another flight to Atlanta is also canceled. You're advised to check ahead before going to the airport. A fire in Natchitoches Parish leaves 2 dead, 4 others hurt. According to police, the fire happened early Sunday just north of Campty. At this time, no cause is known. A young girl has died in a car crash in Bossier. 9-year-old Brooklyn Dunn died following a car wreck on the Teague Parkway. According to police, the driver of the car was suffering from a medical emergency when his vehicle slammed into a guardrail. Dunn, who was in a safety seat, was ejected from the car, suffering fatal injuries. The male driver and a 5-year-old were also hurt, but are expected to recover. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running as he wins the race for mayor. He'll move into the transition phase today and begin putting his team together. Perkins got 64% of the vote and says Shreveport's future starts now.
As mayor, I will work to ensure that you get a chance to author your own destiny, that crime does not rob you of your promise, that a lack of opportunity does not deprive you of a quality of life or send you to other cities seeking one.
Ollie Tyler had this message for Shreveporters.
Together, we can still make this city the best it has ever been.
Amen.
I ask you to continue to embrace this city with your hearts, to create an atmosphere of hope and pride. Thank you for your support and prayers as we finish out this term.
Kyle Ardoin wins the Secretary of State's race.
I stand before you humbled, thankful, and ready to serve. I'm most deeply grateful to God and to you, the people of Louisiana, for bestowing your trust upon me.
He defeated Democrat Gwen Collins Greenup in Saturday's special election. Ochsner Health System announcing they will raise their minimum wage to $12 an hour. Nearly 1,200 workers in the system will get about a $4 an hour bump. The new pay structure goes into place on January 20th. President Warner Thomas says the raise is the right thing to do for their workers and will help attract new qualified employees. Alcohol propositions get approved in Bossier. Matt Parker with that.
Voters in Bossier Parish, District 2, unanimously approved 5 separate propositions related to alcohol sales. The propositions allow the sale of beer, wine, and hard liquor at stores, restaurants, and bars with proper permits. Before the measures were approved, many business owners in the area were afraid they would be forced to shut down if voters voted no. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
For the first time in franchise history, the Saints are back-to-back division champs. New Orleans clinches the NFC South with a come-from-behind 28-14 win over Tampa Bay. The Saints trailed 14-3 in the third quarter, but scored 25 unanswered points to avenge an earlier loss to the Bucs. Coach Sean Payton.
Thought the defense after the first drive really played exceptionally well. Thought the special teams won that battle, and then I felt like offensively we finished in it was a good win, obviously an important win.
The Saints now 11-2 on the season. DOTD is helping Santa Claus these days. Those digital signs on I-20 say Santa sees all. Buckle up. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Oh, Monday morning traffic. Ruben's ready.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Duettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Doesn't Matt look totally different?
No.
With the mustache, with the mustache
he's got a little
wax?
curly thing in his mustache.
Yeah, he's gone with that. He looks like the guy on that car show. What's his name? Michael Cage or something like that? Is that the guy? You know, the guy who does the antique car show and it comes out, you can hang clothes on that mustache?
He looks 80.
Huh?
He looks 80.
He needs to clean it up a little bit, and that's coming, I think. His initial thought was to go Joe Namath, Fu Manchu from the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
And I still might.
And he still may go that way just because I'm just looking. Let me just take. You've gone mustache wax, or is this just some Crisco or something from around the house?
Oh no, it's mustache wax.
Where does one buy mustache wax?
There's a website where I buy some of my
toiletries,
supplies,
accoutrement, hygienic accoutrement.
A lot of it I get locally, but what I can't find, I have a website that I buy stuff from, and I got it there.
Can I borrow some of that for my eyebrows? Gee whiz, they going different. Okay, so I thought I'm walking up the sidewalk here to the door to our entry, our secret secure entry, and I thought, oh man, only milk this mayor thing for a couple more days. Rats.
We're done.
So tell me about your Saturday. Tell me about where you went, what you saw.
I went to several polling places Saturday just to kind of check in, and it was probably around 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and very low
Really?
turnout. Yeah, very
When
low.
I went to vote at 1 o'clock at Holy Trinity Lutheran on Uri Drive, there were probably, because it's two different precincts, and there were maybe, I want to say, 50 to 60 people there. It was crowd dead.
Shreve Island, 3 people. There were about 10 people at Ellerby Road.
Total turnout was what, 30% for the day? Barely.
Yeah, in the mayor's race, it was 30.9%.
Right.
In the other races, I got a number from Ernie. He texted me. Hang on just a minute. Let me pull that up because that was interesting for me.
Ernie Robertson, registrar of voters.
Yeah, he said
Higher
it was
or lower?
Lower. He said
Really?
the mayor's turnout is almost 31%. Officially, the average turnout in Caddo Parish was 26%.
So there's a lot of people who went in, just voted for mayor, said Secretary of State, blah.
Didn't care about the others.
Don't care.
Yeah. And that compares to in November when turnout was 48.7%. Total votes, listen to this. This is amazing to me. In November, 60,500 people voted. On Saturday, 38,900 people voted. It simply stuns me. Ollie Tyler got more votes in November than she did on Saturday. She got 14,400 votes in November. On Saturday, 13,800.
Final percentages was Perkins 65, incumbent Mayor Ollie Tyler 35.
64-36.
So you went to the you were at the Tyler shindig on Saturday evening.
Yeah, it was at Maryland's Place.
How quiet was that joint?
It was pretty somber. And I was talking to one of her close friends who they were optimistic going into the, even
Optimistic
after
or prayerful?
I think they were optimistic. I think they really still thought it could happen.
It was interesting because I was at Perkins' party, which was, by the way, like standing on a crowded subway.
Oh, yeah, he has a shindig.
Had everything but the hand straps.
Yeah.
So there were a number of people in sort of, I don't want to say inner circle, but let's just say in the suborbitives campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And they were concerned that the hits, that the grenades being launched by any number of local politicos from either party might in fact be taking a toll, that they were a little concerned that it might. They weren't pessimistic about the result, but they thought the consensus was it might be closer than all the experts think. And to be blunt about it, they felt a shift in momentum over the last few days, which obviously turned out to be not true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shift in momentum to Ollie, I felt it a little bit. Could it have helped her for another week or two? I don't think so.
Where is 66-34 a momentum shift? It's not.
It's not, and it wasn't. It wasn't happening. Adrian got 25,000 votes compared to his 17,000 in November. So he picked up 8,000 votes while she lost votes. So it was, she was continuing to fade as people. There were so many people as of Friday that were still undecided. Had no clue.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
The numbers dictate just the opposite.
Well, they decided when they got in the. I heard you say you may not even vote from the mayor's race.
I think a lot of folks were saying they were undecided, but knew exactly who they were voting for.
And just didn't want to say it out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Could that be it?
So, you track down Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins. What's the plan? He will be joining us just past. Tell us about that back and forth.
Yeah, I texted him. I'm not sure what day. It was Saturday or Sunday.
It's all
I don't know.
a blur to you.
It is a blur to me. The whole weekend's a blur to me.
Yeah, no surprise.
And didn't hear back from him. Took a little while.
Wait.
Which
stop.
is okay.
Stop,
he's got sleeping to do.
When you say didn't hear back from him, what's that in your book? About 8, 10, 12 minutes?
No, it was a good
half hour?
18 minutes or something like that, yeah.
How dare he?
I know.
Doesn't he know who you are? So, back to your back and forth with the mayor-elect.
Didn't answer me for a little while. And so I texted him again.
A little while, 18 minutes.
Something like that. Texted him again. I said, can we give you
Dear
a call?
Adrian, get used to this.
Can we give you a call Monday morning? And I gave him a couple of time options. And he selected the 8:10 option. He said, sure, let's do 8:10. So my word said call. So I assume it's going to be on the phone. If he wants to pop in person, he's welcome to do that. I don't know if he will or not.
What was the most interesting thing to you about the Tyler get-together at Maryland's on Saturday? Was there something that caught your eye?
Well, yeah. I don't know if I want to say it out loud though. I saw not one.
I don't know if I want to say it out loud. Then she says it out loud. That's the beauty of Erin McCarty. Let me think about this. Okay.
Not one other. I'm trying to think if I saw one. I only saw one other elected official from this region.
Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if I saw another. No.
The most interesting
Barbara
thing,
Norton, the only other elected person in the room that I saw.
At the Perkins party at the Remington on Saturday, about 40% of people were there in formal wear, tuxedos and gowns, because they were on their way to Christmas in the Sky.
Yeah, I wanted to pop by, congratulate him.
From there.
Mm-hmm.
And
he went there too, apparently.
And yes, he did. In fact, when I was trying to get a couple of minutes with him at the very end, because he kind of zoomed in, gave about an 8 to 10 minute speech, which I think we have, and then I emailed that to you. Yeah, you got it? Okay, we'll run it later, a bit of bits and pieces. So Adrian came in, talked for a couple of seconds. I grabbed one of his folks and said, is there any way I can get a couple of minutes? And they said, no. His tuxedo is waiting. He's going to Christmas in the Sky.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mayor Tyler came in and did her speech. And I've covered so many elections over the years. And usually after they give their speech, they'll do little one-on-ones with each of the TV people and, the newspaper and whoever's there. And so I went up to her, her people, and they looked at her and she said, I'm not doing any more. Not doing any individual interviews. She did none. She did none with any of the TV people. Did not, I don't think, with the newspaper people that I know of. Refused to do any interview with me. Now, part of it was she's losing her voice. She has a cold, and so she's losing her voice. And part of it, she wanted to get out of there. I mean, she had a limo waiting outside to take her wherever.
I can't imagine. Yeah, you don't want to hang out.
You don't want to hang out.
And honestly, I'm thinking you guys really don't care what I have to say. I mean, it's
yeah. You're really moving on. So let's
call it a night,
real.
and I'll see you guys at the bar.
But you know what, Robert? In my heart of hearts, she's a wonderful person. She has served this community for 40 years. She's an educator. She's not a mayor. I hate to say that. She's a great educator. She's wonderful with children. It's just not been... And she didn't seek out this mayor's race. Remember 4 years ago? She was being pushed and prodded and urged to run. And she finally agreed to do it.
Admittedly, she got in sort of at the last minute after Sam Jenkins had his trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But
and she jumped in and she did it and she won and no real big scandals during her 4 years. She's done her best, I believe. But I wanted Saturday night for her to be a thank you for your many years of service. I wanted people to get up and go, you didn't win, but God, you've been great for 40 years in so many realms in our community. But it didn't turn into that. And I'm sad about that. It always hurts me to see people that I like lose. And I like her. I would have been sad to see Adrian lose. I like him. It's just an awful night. I don't like those nights. I really don't.
Because you were at the wrong party.
Yeah,
19
you
past
got a
6
point.
o'clock, 101.7 FM. It turned out to be great for me. 20 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Sports update from Fletch is on the way. Got some interesting baseball news, considering for a local fellow. Meanwhile, here's Ruben, traffic update.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.107 FM, 710 Keel. Sports update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk at 11:30. The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints trailed Tampa Bay 14-3 in the third quarter, but it felt worse than that Sunday. A second consecutive loss appeared imminent. But jock of all trades, Taysom Hill burst through a seam and blocked a Buccaneers punt, energizing the Saints immediately. Mark Ingram quadrupled the rushing output soon after with an 11-yard run. 4 plays later, Drew Brees connected with Zach Line for a touchdown. Add in Alvin Kamara's 2-point conversion, and the Saints were within 3. And the Saints scored on their next 4 drives after that block punt en route to a 28-14 win to lock up the NFC South title for the second straight year. Brees put the Saints ahead for good on one of his 4th and goal up and over quarterback sneaks. Ingram put the game away by dragging a Buccaneer along for the ride on a 17-yard touchdown run. And thanks to Chicago's win over the Rams last night, the Saints currently are the top seed in the NFC. Dak Prescott nearly gave the game away Sunday afternoon, but rallied with a record performance to lead the Cowboys to a 29-23 overtime win over the Eagles. The Houghton native threw 2 costly interceptions, 1 in the end zone, and lost a fumble that allowed Philadelphia to stick around, but he shook off those mistakes to throw a 28-yard strike to Amari Cooper to give Dallas a 16-9 fourth quarter lead. That same combo connected on a 75-yard bomb that broke a 16-all tie. In overtime, after Ezekiel Elliott kept the lone drive alive with a first down pickup on 4th and 1, Prescott fired in Cooper's direction again. The Eagles' Rasul Douglas got a hand on it, deflected the ball higher into the air and into Cooper's hands. After reeling it in, Cooper bolted into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Dak finished with career highs in completions, attempts, and yards and a 42 for 54, 455-yard day. Cooper, 10 catches, 217 yards. Indianapolis snapped Houston's 9-game winning streak with a 24-21 win in Houston. And big news, Castor native and former NSU Demon hoopster Lee Smith was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Today's Game Era Committee. He received a yay vote from all 16 members. Harold Baines also was elected, picking up the necessary 12 votes needed for induction. Shreveport's Albert Bell received fewer than 5 votes. From the sports desk at 11:30, The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty breaking story out of Bossier City. And we've got a whole bunch of some pictures some folks just sent. but a lot of phone calls and texts via the Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. A fire at First Baptist Church, Bossier City, which is there at East Texas. And,
right there in front of the mall.
Got a bunch of calls from like I-20, said you can see it from I-20 and stuff.
The fire started early this morning. It looks like there are dozens of fire units on the scene trying to put that blaze out. Not sure if it's in the main sanctuary or not.
No idea.
But we're trying to get the latest information from the Bossier City folks and trying to find out more about that this morning. Sad, sad news. And what would start a fire in a church on a Monday morning?
They have electricity. I mean, it
Yeah.
happened in my house when I was a kid. So
That's true. Sad. But people are calling and texting photos from all over because you can see it all across the region. Folks are seeing it and sending pictures. Again, that's First Baptist Church, East Texas in Bossier, apparently on fire. Blaze started sometime early this morning. Dozens of fire units are on the scene.
28 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Tell you what, let's go to traffic now. Erin has local news in just a second. Meanwhile, here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
Several units are on the scene of a massive fire at First Baptist Church in Bossier on East Texas Street. The fire started sometime early this morning. No word on what started that blaze. A snowstorm in North Carolina forcing the cancellation of a few flights between Shreveport and Charlotte. Another flight to Atlanta also canceled. You're advised to check ahead before going to the airport. Voters in Bossier Parish's District 2 out in the Houghton area unanimously approved 5 separate propositions related to alcohol sales. The propositions allow the sale of beer, wine, and hard liquor at stores, restaurants, and bars with the proper permits. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running as he wins the race for mayor. He'll move into his transition phase today and begin putting his team together.
A city where you and your family can thrive, not just survive. Yes. A place you, your children, and your grandchildren can proudly call home.
Incumbent Ollie Tyler had this message for local residents.
It has truly been my honor and pleasure to serve you, the citizens of Shreveport. Thank you. And I want to say to you once again, God bless you. And let's unite around Mr. Perkins to make sure that Shreveport continues to be the place we're all proud to call home.
Louisiana voters decided to keep Republican Kyle Ardoin as Secretary of State.
The Secretary of State's office is turning the page and entering a new chapter, a chapter I believe will be the most meaningful and impactful in history.
Ardoin got 59% of the vote. A health system gives employees a bump. Matt Parker with that.
Auctioner Health System has announced they will be raising their minimum wage to $12 an hour. Nearly 1,200 employees in the system will get about a $4 an hour bump. The new pay structure will go into place January 20th. President Warner Thomas says the raise is the right thing to do for their employees and will help attract new qualified workers. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Tragedy in Bossier. 9-year-old Brooklyn Dunn dies following a car wreck on the Teague Parkway. Police say the driver of the vehicle was suffering from a medical emergency when his car slammed into a guardrail. Dunn, who was in the safety seat, was ejected and suffered fatal injuries. The male driver and a 5-year-old were also hurt, but are expected to recover. A fire in Natchitoches Parish leaves 2 dead and 4 others hurt. According to police, the fire happened early Sunday morning just north of Campty. At this time, no cause is known. A former Miss Kentucky, who's a teacher in West Virginia, is charged with sending nude photos to a 15-year-old former student. News reports say 28-year-old Ramsey Bierce was arrested and charged with 4 felony counts of distributing or displaying obscene matter to a minor. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Check 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app is a free download from Office Furniture Source. Kind of hustling down there all of a sudden, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit busy.
So give us the latest. Give us what you know. Reported fire, First Baptist Church in Bossier on East Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I think the entire Bossier Fire Department is there. It looks.
Yeah, they're.
I don't know how big the fire is, but there's lots of units on the scene.
Oh, they have dozens and dozens of units on the scene. They're trying to get it out. It's a raging fire. It looks like that folks are calling in. They couldn't see it from miles away, all the way to the interstate and beyond. It's sad. I'm not sure if it's actually in the main sanctuary or not, but you can see the flames and the smoke. It really is sad this morning. No word yet on any kind of cause.
Someone just sent me a screenshot from, how they have the little traffic cameras from the one right in front of the old Minden exit when you're going down I-20.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the sun is sitting. It's so bright,
Wow.
and it's wild.
Unbelievable.
Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. If you have any photos, we already got a couple, and we appreciate that. We can put those on the KEEL website at keelnews.com. Or if you happen to have seen it, the phone number is 320-5335. Just give us a call. Let us know what you saw. That would be appreciated also. Especially if you are familiar with the facility.
Sure.
Which I am not. I mean, it's big, and they got football fields in front.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically all I know about it. So, and Pastor Jerkovich and I would imagine he might be a little busy this morning to track him down.
Yeah, just a smidge. Wow. Waiting to hear from Bossier City officials what they know about the fire, and obviously they're in the heat of the fight right now to put the blaze out. No indication that anyone's been hurt, but again, we have no word yet on anything official from.
Like I said, and once they get the fire under control, they still have to comb the area just to be sure that there's that everything is safe and that the fire didn't spread.
Yeah, absolutely, and try to narrow down the cause. This time of the morning, though, I imagine they have a daycare facility, and maybe the crews were getting there, preparing something in the kitchen. I don't know. I'm just speculating completely, but I don't know. I don't know anything about what would have sparked it yet.
Other than, like I said, it looks like the entire Bossier City Fire Department is there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Again, it's a fire, First Baptist, Bossier, East Texas, right there in front of Pierre Bossier Mall.
Tell you what, let's take the break
folks
early.
Are seeing it
We've
all
got a
over.
couple of folks to call, see if we can get somebody on this in the next 30 to 45 seconds or so.
You bet.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update right now. Ruben's here.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Obviously, the ace producer will keep his eyes peeled on all three of our phones. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty fire reported this morning at First Baptist Church in Bossier. From the Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884 and accompanying photos. Thank you very much. Fire appears to be in the back of the church near one of the youth centers, but the back of the church is starting. The fire seems to be spreading to the back of the church. And like I said, none of this is confirmed, but we got another Shreveport Security Systems text line text that said that that it was in the chapel area. Like I said, I am unfortunately totally unfamiliar with that facility. I don't know what is where other than the big churches in the front. You can see, right there on East Texas. But beyond that,
read what it said about where the fire is again.
Hold on just a second.
Eyewitnesses.
Fire appears to be in the back of the church near one of the youth centers, but the back of the church is starting to catch, is the quote. But I don't know if that's real. I mean, I don't know. They're not any closer to the fire than we are, truth be known. And then the other one said that that an officer said that the fire was located in the chapel area. But once again, not to be disrespecting the people who took time to text us or send us photos, but that's obviously not confirmed because you're not there.
Yeah, exactly.
A little closer than me, but not much.
Oh man, this is sad. I can't even imagine.
We made a couple of calls, but like I said, the particulars involved, the principals involved at this point in the day are probably going to be a little too busy to give us too much info.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're fighting the folks in the middle of it are going to be busy. But again, it's First Baptist Church, East Texas in Bossier. Would you say that's the largest church in Bossier?
Yeah.
If not, Airline maybe the other. They're
it's
two
one
biggies.
it's one of our local mega churches.
It is.
There's no, it's they almost have them all, not quite. So.
It caught on fire probably in the 5 a.m. hour, maybe a little after 6.
Reports are around 5:30 is when they got the calls to come out.
Oh, golly.
So you went Saturday night. You were at the Ollie Tyler, in verbal italics, party. How was there ever, bluntly speaking,
there was good food.
Was there ever really a glimmer of hope?
Some of her folks had a little bit of glimmer of hope. But a couple of her folks.
How many people were there total? Because I'm telling you, I was at the Perkins party at the Remington, and I'll describe it before. The room it was in, I don't know how many people were there, but it was like standing on a crowded subway.
It was fewer than 100, I think.
Really?
Probably.
Maryland's not that big a joint. Great food, great place, one of my favorites. But it's you're not going to put 200 or 300 people in there.
If you're familiar with Maryland, you go into the counter and you order.
Yeah.
To the left, you've got the main
room.
dining room. That room was full. They had tables. But then they pulled out some of the tables because they had a little podium for her off to the left, and they had a room for the camera people to, an area for the camera people to set up. Then you had tables behind them.
What did they do with the big open front room? Well,
front room,
the patio area,
to the right when you go in the main door, was empty. I went in there and had a table by myself for a long time, and then some of her staff members came and sat at tables out there eventually. But that room, for the most part, was empty.
Really?
Because they had no TV set up out there, to watch the returns or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was just people just kind of sitting, mulling around. I sat out there because I was doing I was writing thank you notes and some other stuff I had to do, some busy work. But just chilling. I did have a couple of her people come and ask me for Adrian's phone number because she wanted to be in touch with him the evening. When it started to look grim, I guess, she wanted to give him a call. And they figured I had his number, which I said, don't tell him I gave it to you.
I mean, I
guess it's too late to say that now, right?
I could give you particulars. I could give you specifics, but the Perkins get-together was just the opposite.
Yeah,
it was New Year's Eve.
And that was just like November,
and I told you before, the most striking thing visually to me of the Perkins party was that about 40% of the people were in formal wear, tuxedos and gowns, because they were on their way to Christmas in the sky.
I didn't see any formal wear at Mayor Tyler's gathering. Now that I think about it, I didn't see any formal wear.
Ended up standing next to a lawyer from Jackson, Mississippi. I did, who was wearing a Vacheron Constantine, which is it's a big boy watch.
Oh, okay.
You think Rolex is a big boy watch? Vacheron is a big boy watch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like Patek Philippe is like Audemars Piguet. It's a big boy watch.
You look at watches like I might look at handbags,
This one sort of jumped out at me.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did he let you touch it or anything?
He kind of waved it at me and said, "Don't you wish you were me?" I said, "Yeah, I kind of do right now."
Big boy watch, yeah. Oh, man.
You looked like you had a thought.
Well, just from watching visually, because, Greg and I were on the air, so I couldn't hear until well after the fact, but just the visual from both places, it looked like you said, a New Year's Eve party versus a funeral. Like, everybody just looked down at Ollie's place, and at Adrian, it looked like everybody was having the time of their life.
I mean, it's not like as one sort of dissects the race, if you will. It's not like there's a lot of analysis necessary because not much changed. The irony is, and I actually said this to a couple of Perkins folks, and they went, "Yeah, you're kind of right." And I had said this a couple of times on the radio. The irony, if you will, of this mayor's race is that for how many years, for how many mayor's races have, bluntly speaking, the white folks in Shreveport said, "Man, our vote just doesn't count. Our vote doesn't matter for anything." Well, you know what? This time, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, white folks sort of picked who the mayor is, and it was going to be a black Democrat.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have to see. Let's see how much of what he says he wants to accomplish he can get accomplished. He's going to get in there and see that those city wheels don't spin as fast as you'd like.
What? There's a deep state everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
You know what, though? As an aside, think about what you just said. And the next time President Trump or somebody in the Trump administration talks about the deep state and how the inner workings of the federal government seem to be against him and how they seem to be this great, big, sort of tentacled, implanted monster, and you kind of scoff at that, think about it just in terms of local government.
Yeah.
When you've got life, not that they're going to necessarily work purposely against him, but there's people and there's the machine.
Right.
And it's, what is it, Deus Ex Machina.
There's a lot of city employees today waking up going, I wonder if I'm going to have a job still.
Parkey?
Well, I was just going to say the city council is still discussing the city budget. I wonder if he's going to hop in there like, hey, this may be her budget, but I'm going to be the mayor. Let's look at some stuff.
Well, they got to vote on it tomorrow,
well, that's
so he
what
better
I'm
do
saying.
it quickly, yeah.
When is the mayor's inauguration? December
29th.
And the city council is the same time. Speaking of that, and now we have a majority African-American city council for the first time. Let's see how many. Oh, we got to go. We'll talk about this more later, specifically the different districts and the new council people. They'll be taking office, I guess, toward the end of the month.
29th, yep.
649, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Your Money Now, presented by Office Furniture Source. Barksdale Federal Credit Union is just ahead. Meantime, here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Lakeshore Drive near Juella Avenue, and we're still dealing with that section of East Texas Street in Bossier City being shut down between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROW.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Weather Channel forecast. Kind of cloudy again today, but not much of a chance of rain, and kind of chilly. May not even be as high as 45 to 50. .117 FM, 710 KEEL, 652. Sports Update, here's Fletch.
Good morning from the Sports Desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints trailed Tampa Bay 14-3 in the third quarter, but it felt worse than that Sunday. A second consecutive loss appeared imminent. But jock of all trades, Taysom Hill burst through a seam and blocked a Buccaneers punt, energizing the Saints immediately. Mark Ingram quadrupled the rushing output soon after with an 11-yard run. 4 plays later, Drew Brees connected with Zach Line for a touchdown. Add in Alvin Kamara's 2-point conversion, and the Saints were within 3. And the Saints scored on their next 4 drives after that block punt en route to a 28-14 win to lock up the NFC South title for the second straight year. Brees put the Saints ahead for good on one of his 4th and goal up and over quarterback sneaks. Ingram put the game away by dragging a Buccaneer along for the ride on a 17-yard touchdown run. And thanks to Chicago's win over the Rams last night, the Saints currently are the top seed in the NFC. Dak Prescott nearly gave the game away Sunday afternoon, but rallied with a record performance to lead the Cowboys to a 29-23 overtime win over the Eagles. The Houghton native threw 2 costly interceptions, 1 in the end zone, and lost a fumble that allowed Philadelphia to stick around, but he shook off those mistakes to throw a 28-yard strike to Amari Cooper to give Dallas a 16-9 fourth-quarter lead. That same combo connected on a 75-yard bomb that broke a 16-all tie. In overtime, after Ezekiel Elliott kept the lone drive alive with a first-down pickup on 4th and 1, Prescott fired in Cooper's direction again. The Eagles' Rasul Douglas got a hand on it, deflected the ball higher into the air and into Cooper's hands. After reeling it in, Cooper bolted into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Dak finished with career highs in completions, attempts, and yards and a 42 for 54, 455-yard day. Cooper, 10 catches, 217 yards. Indianapolis snapped Houston's 9-game winning streak with a 24-21 win in Houston. And big news, Castor native and former NSU Demon hoopster Lee Smith was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Today's Game Era Committee. He received a yay vote from all 16 members. Harold Baines also was elected, picking up the necessary 12 votes needed for induction. Shreveport's Albert Bell received fewer than 5 votes. From the sports desk at 11:30 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.655, Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Once again, the Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Some awesome photos. Well, not awesome in a good way, and I apologize for phrasing it that way. Huge fire, major fire this morning at First Baptist Church in Bossier there on East Texas. Matt, you said that East Texas is closed.
That's the report I just saw. Several people post on Facebook that they were trying to get to work or whatever, and East Texas Street was shut down. So,
yeah, I would imagine the intersection there is. I mean, if you're going north-south on Airline, I would imagine that is still open.
Yes,
but you're certainly not going to make a turn on to East Texas headed toward headed down toward the church.
Fire call came in about 5:30 this morning. It looks like it's toward the one of the back big rooms, but that the fire may have spread to the church area. Don't know yet.
The chapel area.
The chapel
actually,
area.
Is what we had heard, yeah.
Waiting to find out.
Yeah.
No reports of injuries at this point, but there are dozens of firefighters on the scene trying to put this out.
Update's just a couple of seconds away as soon as we can track folks down. 6:56, here's Rush on KEEL.
I was sure she was gone, but she's not. The circus is still in town in Florida's Broward County. After she made a mess of the November midterm ballots, Brenda Snipes, the election supervisor, announced that she would step down in January. But that wasn't soon enough for the governor. Rick Scott, he suspended her effective immediately. So she got all ticked off and unresigned. Now Broward's Democrats are pondering legal action to keep her around. Now, in the midterms, 2,000 ballots went missing. Miss Snipes' office missed the state deadline to report the machine recount totals, and she opened provisional ballots that were not validated. And this wasn't her first rodeo. There have been problems throughout her tenure. including in 2016 when ballots were illegally destroyed. Yet when Governor Scott finally had enough and suspended her for misfeasance, incompetence, and neglect of duty, the Democrats went ballistic and accused him of being mean-spirited and cruel and ruthless. Never mind that Brenda Snipes stands to collect a hefty $130,000 pension because she was an educator before becoming a Democrat election fixer. Supervisor. This woman taught? Can you imagine what the people she taught know? That's scary enough. The fact she's staying around, that's even worse. Hey folks, 'tis the season for more shopping online, more booking travel, and all that activity while using your device leads to online identity exposure. Your personal information's going to be at risk. And if that information ends up in the hands of cyber criminals, you could have a bigger problem than an online store running out of the gift you promised your oldest. Now, it's a good thing there's LifeLock with Norton to help keep your holidays happy. LifeLock helps with threats to your identity, like someone opening accounts in your name, and Norton Security protects your devices against cyber threats like malware. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor transactions in all businesses, but if you've got LifeLock with Norton, you've got comprehensive protection for your identity and your devices. Just go to lifelock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use promo code RUSH for an extra 15% off your first year. That's promo code RUSH for an extra 15% off at lifelock.com.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of Uri Drive and East Kings Highway, and we have a section of East Texas Street shut down between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
KEEL Weather Channel forecast. We may see a little sun today, partly cloudy and chilly, middle to upper 40s, maybe 50. Right now, 34 at KEEL. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 7 o'clock, Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. KEEL, 710 AM and K269GO, 101.7 FM, Shreveport. The KEEL.
Just after 7 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, down yonder. Miss Erin, lots of local news. Play close attention. It's big stuff, and it's up next.
Massive fire at First Baptist in Bossier. Shreveport firefighters are called in to help. The snowstorm in North Carolina forces the cancellation of some flights. We'll talk more about that. And Shreveport has a new mayor-elect.
Okay, so Pam Glorioso from Bossier City. She's sort of the CAO over there. Going to join us in less than 10 minutes to talk about that Bossier bond issue. Got a pretty good deal on that, it would appear, but what are they going to use that $60+ million for?
Big improvements.
Whoever we can track down from First Baptist Bossier or related to that big fire, we'll see what's up. And like we're talking about, the latest from the mayor's race. Think we can milk another day or two out of this thing? Jeez, we need the material. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Bossier firefighters are on the scene of a massive fire at First Baptist in Bossier on East Texas. The fire call came in about 5:30 this morning. No reports of injuries at this point. No word yet on a cause of that blaze. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running as he wins the race for mayor. He'll move into the transition phase today and begin putting his team together.
Tonight, Shreveport stands united. United in a belief and a faith for a better tomorrow. And our determination to make that day a reality. The polls have closed, the votes are counted, and that day is here.
Ollie Tyler says she fought until the end.
Leading this city and running a campaign has not been easy. Amen. But still, we were determined to put in the work. Amen. With diligence. Amen. With integrity. Amen. Until the very end. Amen.
Alcohol propositions get approved out in the Houghton area. Voters in District 2 unanimously approved 5 separate propositions related to alcohol sales. The propositions allow the sale of beer, wine, and hard liquor at stores, restaurants, and bars with proper permits. A young girl has died in a car wreck. Matt Parker has that.
9-year-old Brooklyn Dunn has died following a car wreck on the Teague Parkway. According to police, the driver of the vehicle was suffering from a medical emergency when his vehicle slammed into a guardrail. Dunn, who was in a safety seat, was ejected from the car and suffered fatal injuries. The male driver and a 5-year-old girl also suffered injuries in the wreck, but are expected to make a full recovery. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A fire in Natchitoches Parish leaves 2 dead, 4 others hurt. According to police, the fire happened early Sunday morning just north of Campty. At this time, no cause of the fire is known. The investigation continues. Oshner Health System announcing they will raise their minimum wage to $12 an hour. Nearly 1,200 workers in the system will get about a $4 an hour bump. The new pay structure will go into place January 20th. The average price of regular unleaded plummets. Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg explains why.
Gasoline prices are down 22 cents in the past 3 weeks. Regular grade is now $2.51, and the price has been crashing 40 cents per gallon over 3 months, following crude oil prices down.
The average price of diesel fell 9 cents over the past 2 weeks. General Motors looking to get out of running some of its car-making plants in Ohio, but it's also trying to hold on to a valuable tax credit for electric vehicles. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Monday morning traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Lakeshore Drive near Juella Avenue, and we're still dealing with that section of East Texas Street in Bossier City being shut down between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL text line 318-392-1884. Brought to us by Shreveport's. We have Pastor Jerkovich standing by.
Yeah, we do.
Pastor Brad Jerkovich, good morning, sir. How are you this morning? Thank you for taking time for us. Can you?
Hey, you bet.
What can you tell us about the fire this morning? Fill us in. What information do you have?
Well, I'm on scene right now. The firefighters of Bossier are doing an incredible job. Shreveport's helping now as well. And it's pretty bad. They're doing the best they can to, contain it. But they're definitely losing a lot of structure here on the campus for sure. So we just appreciate so many people have already been texting and calling and praying. And that's really what they could be doing now, but pray for the firefighters as well. So
Pastor, where can you tell us it started? Describe the building that it started in and how many other buildings are now involved.
What I can tell right now is it was kind of behind Faith Chapel and maybe one of the middle connecting areas at this point. I'm being extremely vague here. I don't know all the details, but it had just spread to the where the wing, what do I say, that has our kids academy in it, et cetera. Obviously, no one was there this morning, of course, so no one's hurt. But it's that whole wing there around the Faith Chapel towards the mall, not obviously next to the mall, but anyway, just saying on that side of the property.
To the main chapel yet at this point?
No. It's not moved that way either. But they're trying to take care. I'm not sure about Big Chapel though. It doesn't look good for that, which is the older, the original sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I'm just not sure about that.
Mr.
That
Brad,
really
pardon me. The closeness, the tightness of the facility there. You got a lot of stuff in a relatively. Considering all that you have there, it's kind of a small space for everything. Is that sort of inhibiting the fire department being able to get back to the source of the fire at all? Can you tell?
Well, I don't know if it's that. I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't know how to answer all those questions, to be honest with you. I know that they got here on scene, and it just continued to spread and kind of jump from one part to the next. But, yeah, it's close quarters on some of that, so clearly that's an issue. It's just this is the older part of the campus, so maybe it's just a little bit of a challenge on that. Mm-hmm.
I know firefighters, and we're talking with Pastor Brad Jerkovich, First Baptist Church Bossier, which is part of the building's on fire. I know firefighters around the scene often will talk about what may have sparked it. Are you hearing any of that chatter at this point?
Not at all. I mean, again, it's kind of in the middle of a corridor area that they're kind of sensing where it originated. It's just hard to tell on that right now. So obviously these guys are professionals, so they'll figure that out. But anyway, right now they're trying to contain as much as they can, put it out as quickly as they can, and stay as safe as they can. And I just want to say, very appreciative how our Bossier Fire Department, police, and then Shreveport helping as a sister city, doing an incredible job. But it's challenging, But so many church family praying. So many people from the city already praying, and very, very thankful for that.
Any indication of arson?
I don't know anything right now.
Brad, what can Shreveport Bossier residents do for you guys this morning? I know prayers, but it's too early to say what you're going to need, huh?
Exactly. I mean, I think we'll just have to see how this rest of the day unfolds. But we're going to get through it, and people, like I said, have been so quick to respond, and that's been very, very meaningful to our church family. So. And obviously around the city, so we're grateful.
Mr. Brad, considering the crisis of the situation, I got to tell you, you sound amazingly calm. How are you doing that?
Man, I tell you, we just know God's in control. Obviously, we're grateful, no loss of life. You know what I'm saying? You're just grateful for those things. Buildings can be rebuilt, and our church is resilient. So we're going to press on and just grateful for you guys.
How did you learn about this? Tell me what happened. What was your morning like?
The fire chief, Chief Sagone, called me early, and then another captain, Chris Dyson, who's my neighbor, they called me early, said, hey, we're en route. So, pretty early this morning, but they've been on it, and that's just how they roll. They get things done and take it serious, and everybody's professional, So I'm grateful for those guys.
Brad Jerkovich, pastor at First Baptist Bossier, I can't thank you enough for your time. Our prayers with you and your congregation.
Thank you guys so much. We'll be in touch.
You bet.
God bless.
17 past 7 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. A little early break. We'll update you on the First Baptist Bossier fire when we get back. A little late breaking information Matt's getting, and we're going to try to track down, the latest on the mayor's race from the weekend. We have Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins joining us at a little bit past 8 o'clock, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. My brain's in another time zone.
No.
Adrian Perkins joining us just past 8 o'clock this morning.
And then Scott Hughes, political analyst, just about 8:30 or so. 17 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, traffic and weather just ahead, and Fletcher and sports coming up on KEEL. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Latest sports update. No, traffic first. Monday morning traffic. Lots of stuff in Bossier. Updates. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at North Market and North Hearn Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have a section of East Texas Street shut down between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Keel Sports Time. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk at 11:30. The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints trailed Tampa Bay 14-3 in the third quarter, but it felt worse than that Sunday. A second consecutive loss appeared imminent. But jock of all trades, Taysom Hill burst through a seam and blocked a Buccaneers punt, energizing the Saints immediately. Mark Ingram quadrupled the rushing output soon after with an 11-yard run. 4 plays later, Drew Brees connected with Zach Line for a touchdown. Add in Alvin Kamara's 2-point conversion, and the Saints were within 3. And the Saints scored on their next 4 drives after that blocked punt en route to a 28-14 win to lock up the NFC South title for the second straight year. Brees put the Saints ahead for good on one of his 4th and goal up and over quarterback sneaks. Ingram put the game away by dragging a Buccaneer along for the ride on a 17-yard touchdown run. And thanks to Chicago's win over the Rams last night, the Saints currently are the top seed in the NFC. Dak Prescott nearly gave the game away Sunday afternoon, but rallied with a record performance to lead the Cowboys to a 29-23 overtime win over the Eagles. The Houghton native threw 2 costly interceptions, 1 in the end zone, and lost a fumble that allowed Philadelphia to stick around, but he shook off those mistakes to throw a 28-yard strike to Amari Cooper to give Dallas a 16-9 fourth quarter lead. That same combo connected on a 75-yard bomb that broke a 16-all tie. In overtime, after Ezekiel Elliott kept the lone drive alive with a first down pickup on 4th and 1, Prescott fired in Cooper's direction again. The Eagles' Rasul Douglas got a hand on it, deflected the ball higher into the air and into Cooper's hands. After reeling it in, Cooper bolted into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Dak finished with career highs in completions, attempts, and yards and a 42 for 54, 455-yard day. Cooper, 10 catches, 217 yards. Indianapolis snapped Houston's 9-game winning streak with a 24-21 win in Houston. And big news, Castor native and former NSU Demon hoopster Lee Smith was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Today's Game Era Committee. He received a yay vote from all 16 members. Harold Baines also was elected, picking up the necessary 12 votes needed for induction. Shreveport's Albert Bell received fewer than 5 votes. From the sports desk at 11:30, The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins at about 10 past 8 o'clock. And then political analyst Scott Hughes at about 8:30 or 35.
I've goofed this day up, but that's okay.
Why? What happened?
Well, we had Pam Glorioso scheduled. I thought it was scheduled for 7:10.
Yeah.
It was scheduled for another
It's
time.
the phlegm. You're built up with phlegm.
That we have a conflict, so I'm
Like
trying. I'm
wall,
hoping.
A dam of phlegm.
If we can't get Pam in this morning, I'm going to hopefully reschedule it for tomorrow because I really am intrigued by that big bond package in Bossier. So I want to talk more about that. But
for a man who is facing such a major crisis, Pastor Brad Jerkovich at First Baptist Bossier, he sounded, it was like James Bond.
Yeah. And if you're just joining us, there's been a pretty massive fire at First Baptist Bossier on East Texas. Started in one of the buildings kind of behind the church, where they would hold a kids academy, he said, and some other functions there. It has spread to some other buildings. Firefighters from Shreveport were called in to help put it out. Still on fire, as we know, at this point.
Shreveport units on the scene. Parky, what did you hear about that? What's the latest?
It's just Bossier and Shreveport firefighters have teamed up to try to extinguish the flames, but from what I'm seeing right now, it doesn't look like they've been successful thus far. It's starting to spread a little bit. So they're working at it, hoping to
For
at
a
least
facility that size, there's nothing. There's the term "little bit." You know what I mean?
It's not gotten to the main chapel, though. That is a good sign. Because I know, this is, for a church, what's their busiest time of year? Christmas. They have so many events. They have an event at that church tomorrow night, a big Christmas-type event. So, it's a busy time for churches. Lots of people are in churches this time of year.
At least according to the pastor, it's the older part that's they're... I don't want to say don't use as much, but it's not like the main new church. It's the older part, so I guess...
And it sounds like no one was hurt. We don't know the cause. Not sure about what sparked it, but I know they got the call around 5:30 this morning. So it's, it's a rough morning. Rough morning in
Well,
Bossier.
we certainly appreciate his taking time to talk with us in such a harried and bluntly speaking, crisis situation.
Definitely.
From the Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. Really disappointed in the number of voters who turned out Saturday. Very sad. What was the total percentage? It was right at
30.9% in the mayor's race.
Just under 31.
Yeah, 38,916 people voted, compared to 60,500 in November.
Compare that to the general election again.
60,500 at the general election to 38,900. Here's what the surprising number is. Remember these numbers real quick. Adrian Perkins on November 6th got 17,400 votes.
Right.
17.4. Okay. Saturday, he got 25,000. November, Mayor Ollie Tyler got 14,400 votes. 14.4. Saturday, she got 13.8.
Well, Scott Hughes...
She lost votes while he gained 7,000 votes.
Scott Hughes, who will join us just after 8:30 this morning, had said that depending on the weather, when we first saw the forecast, that it was going to be cloudy and rainy and just cold on Saturday. He said it is Perkins voters who will be energized. He said, look, it's if you were looking at the two candidates and you knew going in what the odds were in the uphill battle that the mayor faced in her reelection bid, is there any surprise that maybe it was, in fact, her voters who were the most discouraged, who were the most affected by the inclement weather?
Yeah, definitely. They just thought, we don't have a chance, so why bother? Why bother going out and getting in the middle of this rain and this cold and all that? It was low turnout at the several places I went to.
It's honestly speaking, that's 65-35, 66-34. There were some insiders who had texted us numbers that I'm trying to clean up the text I got in my head. Not that it was profane, but I just want to make it a more of a kindler, gentler remark than it initially was. That said that Perkins could get as many as 70% of the vote. He had 66.
Right. 64.
64-36.
64-36.
Okay, I was thinking 66-34.
And, I'm going to be blunt. 64% in an election is a mandate. It's a landslide. That's a butt whipping.
I got news for you. 55-45.
Yeah, exactly. It's we are counting on you to do what you promise. So now he's got to jump in those big shoes, and he's got to start delivering on some of those promises. And there's going to be a lot of folks watching. Was it empty promises like she kept saying? Or can he really get some of this done? I mean, is he going to go out to BMW and to these big companies? Is he going to pitch our city? Is he going to clean up our city? Is he going to make our city smarter and get these tech things started that he's wanted to start?
You know, in all the things.
And how's he going to pay for it all?
Let me speak bluntly, as you said you were just doing. For all those promises that you said that Adrian made, and we'll see if he fulfills them. But the last 30 seconds that you did saying, will Adrian do this, will Adrian do that, was in fact an indictment of the Tyler administration. That those things were undone, that those things were untouched, that those things were those were things that people wanted to see happen. And for whatever reason, whether you buy into the sort of Miss Ollie's, I don't want to say we came in behind the 8 ball, but I don't think that's a terribly misused phrase in that regard.
Right.
That we spent 4 years just trying to catch up in so many areas.
He sat here and I asked him, what are the first 3 things you're going to do if you wake up on Sunday morning, December 9th? What are the first 3 things you're going to do as mayor? I'm curious if that's going to really happen today.
Well, no, since he doesn't take office for another couple of weeks.
Right, exactly.
But the point being, I am intrigued, and let the rumors begin to fly, who his chief administrative officer will be.
Those rumors have been flying.
Who will be? Yeah, but everybody whose name, just one name, Oliver Jenkins, and he said no.
Yeah.
So there's not any others. Nobody else has been going, yeah, well, I like being at the heart of this rumor. I like being in the eye of this CAO hurricane.
Right.
Because that is a very powerful and very important position, especially what? You're waving your hand.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
But a lot of people are talking about Ben Raymond. Is he going to keep Ben Raymond as police chief? There's a lot of people who've said that would be a good move.
The mayor-elect joins us in just about 40 to 45 minutes here on KEEL. 29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Lakeshore Drive near Juella Avenue, and we're still dealing with that section of East Texas Street in Bossier City being shut down between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52, a clear sky tonight, low 30, sunny tomorrow, 60, clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard DeWettig at the Weather Channel.
Home.
Spread to the where the wing but it had just spread to the where the wing that has our Kids Academy in it, et cetera. Obviously, the wing that has our
Several units are on the scene of a massive fire at First Baptist Church in Bossier on East Texas Street. The fire started sometime early this morning. No word on what started that blaze. A snowstorm in North Carolina forcing the cancellation of a few flights between Shreveport and Charlotte. Another flight to Atlanta also canceled. You're advised to check ahead before going to the airport. Voters in Bossier Parish's District 2 out in the Houghton area unanimously approved 5 separate propositions related to alcohol sales. The propositions allow the sale of beer, wine, and hard liquor at stores, restaurants, and bars with the proper permits. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running as he wins the race for mayor. He'll move into his transition phase today and begin putting his team together.
A city where you and your family can thrive, not just survive. A place you, your children, and your grandchildren can proudly call home.
Incumbent Ollie Tyler had this message for local residents.
It has truly been my honor and pleasure to serve you, the citizens of Shreveport.
Thank you.
And I want to say to you once again, God bless you. And let's unite around Mr. Perkins to make sure that Shreveport continues to be the place we're all proud to call home.
Louisiana voters decided to keep Republican Kyle Ardoin as Secretary of State.
The Secretary of State's office is turning the page and entering a new chapter, a chapter I believe will be the most meaningful and impactful in history.
Ardoin got 59% of the vote. A health system gives employees a bump. Matt Parker with that.
Auctioner Health System has announced they will be raising their minimum wage to $12 an hour. Nearly 1,200 employees in the system will get about a $4 an hour bump. The new pay structure will go into place January 20th. President Warner Thomas says the raise is the right thing to do for their employees and will help attract new qualified workers. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Tragedy in Bossier. 9-year-old Brooklyn Dunn dies following a car wreck on the Teague Parkway. Police say the driver of the vehicle was suffering from a medical emergency when his car slammed into a guardrail. Dunn, who was in the safety seat, was ejected and suffered fatal injuries. The male driver and a 5-year-old were also hurt, but are expected to recover. A fire in Natchitoches Parish leaves 2 dead and 4 others hurt. According to police, the fire happened early Sunday morning just north of Campty. At this time, no cause is known. A former Miss Kentucky, who's a teacher in West Virginia, charged with sending nude photos to a 15-year-old former student. News reports say 28-year-old Ramsey Bierce was arrested and charged with 4 felony counts of distributing or displaying obscene matter to a minor. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
That was an interesting look on your face. You just looked at your phone and kind of...
That's an interesting point. I just got this.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, short segment, 737. What you got?
By legislation of the city, this was a conversation overheard talking to some attorneys, apparently. A term-limited or even a first-term city council person must be 2 years removed from the city council seat to be considered for CAO or any major city appointment.
So as we were speculating as to who the
is that in the charter?
The Adrian Perkins selection for CAO, Chief Administrative Officer, may be, and we were you kind of say, well, maybe Jerry Bowman, although he just won re-election to the council.
Well, everybody's talking about Oliver Jenkins.
But Oliver said no. Oliver says
Oliver
no.
can change his mind.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Look, you saw Oliver Jenkins sitting here. Did
Mhm.
Oliver Jenkins, when he was here, and by the way, I ran into Mr. Oliver on Saturday
Mhm.
for about 2 seconds, and he said what a great time. He said it was just an awesome morning joining us with Jeff Everson.
That was a cool morning.
And Michael Corbin, and how
Mhm.
much positive feedback. And what he said to me was, and I may have not told the former council, soon to be former council person, the colonel,
Yeah.
Jenkins, the truth. He said, I don't know whose idea that was to have the three of us in there, these three outgoing city council people, but it was a great idea, and I don't know who thought of it, but it was a great idea. And I said, yeah, so it's a team effort. I said, team effort.
You thought it was a stupid idea.
It was a team effort.
You said, don't you think we shouldn't be doing this a week before the election?
It was a team effort.
What a dumb idea.
And luckily, you were able to sway me, and I got 100%
man.
behind me, and by God, I made it
Such
happen.
an ultramaroon. You hear the bus hitting you?
Off the top of your head, I just threw you under it.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, how many of the 7 city council people can you name? The new council. Hold
All
it.
of them.
No. Wait, we'll do it when we get back.
Okay.
Some interesting topics and challenges they will face also.
Mhm.
739, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. And when we get back, we'll give you the latest on the First Baptist in Bossier fire.
And Mayor-elect Perkins joining us at 8:10.
In less than about 30 minutes. Traffic update now. Ruben's here.
The intersection at Highland Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And sections of East Texas Street are still blocked off between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at the First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52, a clear sky tonight, low 30, sunny tomorrow, 60, clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.117 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. If you are just joining us, big fire this morning. Active fire at First Baptist Church in Bossier on East Texas. I guess it's first alarms came in between 5 and 5:30, something like that. What can you tell us?
That's what we know. Fire alarms were called in around 5:30. The fire chief, the deputy chief, they contacted the pastor, Brad Jerkovich, to let him know as crews were headed to the scene. I don't know if it was a 4 alarm. I'm not sure if they called in a 4th alarm on it or not.
Whatever the top of the alarm list is, I would imagine that was it, because Matt had passed along that even Shreveport units, that even trucks and stuff from the Shreveport Fire Department are on the scene, and it's sadly it's a big mess there this morning.
It really is. It's not gotten to the new main chapel, but it has heavily damaged other buildings. The main building, the building it started in, is a complete loss.
Pastor Brad took a couple of seconds earlier this hour to talk to us about the situation, and I think basically it was a pretty generic question. What do you know? How did it start? What can you tell us?
What I can tell right now is it was kind of behind Faith Chapel and maybe one of the middle connecting areas at this point. It had just spread to the wing what do I say, that has our Kids Academy in it, et cetera. Obviously, no one was there this morning, of course, so no one's hurt. But it's that whole wing there around the Faith Chapel towards the mall.
What was striking in his tone?
Calm.
Yeah,
He's calm.
yeah,
He's
he
resolved
did
to
not-
the fact that we're going to lose some stuff, but nobody's
But that
hurt.
was what he said. It's just stuff. He
Yeah.
said nobody's hurt. He said it's just stuff.
It's
in
just
God's
stuff.
hands. It's
Yeah.
just stuff. We can put it back.
You can't change it.
Yeah.
You can't change what's happened.
Yeah.
You just pray and move on.
The French word is sang-froid. It's one I use all the time. Sangfroid. Sang-froid. Grace under pressure.
Yes, absolutely. And he's at the scene, obviously, and will be on scene throughout the day. There's going to be cleanup. There's going to be a lot of cleanup to do. Throwing away a bunch of stuff once the fire department moves out.
East Texas is still closed.
Yes, from Benton Road to Airline.
So if
you can't get through there.
And we heard from KEEL's Greg Adams, who comes in, a Bossier resident. He said, what did he say? Like driving
through a forest fire. And then he sent me another message that you can see the smoke and stuff from Cross Lake. So it's that big of a...
Man.
If you can see it from Cross Lake, tell Greg he's going the wrong way.
It's a big, really big fire.
Just an aside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 7 Shreveport City Council people. Can you name them all? Who
Let's
will
see.
be the swearing in for the mayor?
I'm gonna see if I can do it by district number.
Swearing in for the mayor. I don't do that. It'll just confuse me. Swearing in for the mayor and the council is Saturday, December 29th.
That's what it looks to be. That's the date they have.
And, of course, the way your mind works, your mind and only your mind.
District A, Willie Bradford was reelected.
Hang on. Let me, don't cut me off.
Okay.
Matt knows what I'm going to talk about.
I do.
You brought this up once this morning because I said to you, I got a text from Mike Middleton, Caddo Commissioner. He said, is it the 29th? That's a Saturday. And I double-checked with you. I said, that's a Saturday, the 29th. You said, yep, Saturday the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Then she sits there for a couple of seconds, and she says, now that I'm thinking about it, wonder who's going to get the mayor's suite at the Independence Bowl.
Yeah, well, the Independence Bowl, it won't be as controversial this time because the Independence Bowl is the 27th.
Right.
So Ollie Tyler's still the mayor.
Trust me, I'm thinking Adrian can get a ticket.
Well, he can get a ticket, but is he going to be the host of the mayor's
Not the
box?
mayor. I don't know.
I think what I'm told is the last time when Cedric was handing over the keys, I think Mayor Tyler was sworn in the morning of the Independence Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then used the suite for.
This is 48 hours before, though. This is a Wednesday.
This is 2 days before, so
Yeah.
she's still mayor.
24,
But if she
24.
decides she doesn't want to go, and if I was her, I'd be like, knock yourself out, bring your buddies, enjoy the suite, enjoy the game, Temple, Duke, have fun.
That's not how you'd do it. That's not how you'd think about it.
I don't know.
I'm milking this mayor
I
thing
don't
to the
know.
last second.
No, I'm not milking it. I'm taking every last day of vacation I have left.
Stealing
And peace out.
staplers,
Oh yeah, garbage
Tape
cans,
dispensers,
cars, whatever
toilet
they got.
paper. Oh my
I
God.
want an old police car. Put it in my driveway. Yeah, give me everything. Can I get a fire truck while I'm out of here?
Okay, so back to how many of the 7 can you name? Go ahead.
Willie Bradford, District A.
Gotcha.
District B is going to be Lavette Fuller, new to the council.
Yep.
District C, John Nicholson, new to the council.
Not bad.
D, Jerry Bowman. Am I getting these letters right or wrong? Jerry Bowman. No. That's Grayson Butcher.
Yeah,
D.
That's me.
E. Is there an E? I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's
I just
see.
know there's 7 guys. I can name them.
I know there's James Green.
Yeah.
There is Jerry Bowman.
You said that.
Who am I missing? John
Okay.
Nicholson.
James Fleury. James
Bowman. Fleury.
James Fleury, reelected. Jerry Bowman, reelected without opposition. John Nicholson, new. Grayson Butcher, new. Lavette Fuller, new. Willie Bradford, reelected. James Green, new. Kinda
new, yeah.
Because he's been on there before.
Been there before.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a new council. It's now an African American majority on the council. It's been coming for a long time. It's now happened. Will it matter? I don't think so. I think you got people. The white council members and the African American council members. I believe they all truly care about the entire city, and if that is the goal of all of them, then I think we could be headed in the right direction. I really do. I know they have to care about their individual district, but they also have to see the big picture. because if things look awful in Moortown or Cedar Grove, and the whole city reflects that, and you got to make sure the whole town is taken care
Marky,
of.
you have a look of consternation on your face.
Well, I kind of mentioned this earlier. With a new city council coming in, basically, and a new mayor, the budget's got to get approved before they ever get in the office.
By the old council.
Do they have to work with the new guys and be like, hey, we want this, we don't want this, it doesn't matter to you people? I mean, how does that work?
Well, I've been there before, and here's what happens. They approve this budget tomorrow, so there's nothing the new council or new mayor can do. But what you can do is you come back next year and make budget amendments and say, I'm going to change this. I'm moving these dollars from this department to this department. If you get approval of the council, you can make those budget amendments and move the money around. So that's what they'll have to do.
For whatever questions you have, Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins joins us at 10 past 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then for analysis, Scott Hughes joins us just past 8:30.
Yes.
And more on the First Baptist Fire as the info comes in. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of Uri Drive and Southfield Road. And we're still dealing with some sections of East Texas Street being blocked off between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at the First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD. A call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
I'm Jennifer.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 752. Sports Update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the Sports Desk at 11:30. The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints trail 10.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 4 away from, we got to go fast. 4 before 8 o'clock. What were you going to say?
Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins joining us at 10 past 8 this morning.
Hold off on the DAV-TAC till after 8 o'clock because we want to give them their money's worth.
Okay.
And I know you've got a lot of Christmas plans. What did you end up with the 380?
Oh, yeah.
Does it have the laser sight?
Oh, not yet, but I'm going to get the laser sight on it.
Really?
They're going to hook me
when
up.
You take your concealed carry class?
I'm going to be after the first of the year. Concealed carry class, you can take it with me if you'd like.
Do you find yourself being a little more calm and, dare I say, a little more mature? And I'm being totally serious.
Yeah. Not afraid of guns anymore. I've got my own gun. I'm comfortable with it. I've got it in a place where it is safe, but yet accessible. And I know it's not going to drop on the ground and go off because I learned more about guns and how they work. DAV-TAC is the place where you can learn all about it.
More about DAV-TAC just after 8 o'clock. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Sean Hannity.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The FBI knew that the dossier was tainted, that they had questions, they never verified it, and an email chain has emerged. Here we are 2 years later, verifying and corroborating that they knew it had problems, and they never did their job. We know we want to get unredacted. We want the FISA applications themselves, and the Nunes memo, Grassley-Graham memos all say that it is the bulk of the information, that being the dirty dossier paid for by Hillary with Russian lies. Then the Gang of Eight information, then the 302s, that would be the information, reports Bruce Orr and a fired Christopher Steele, the guy that doesn't believe his own dossier, but he was still trying to funnel information through Bruce Orr to get to Special Counsel Robert Mueller.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
'Tis the season for more, and that means more shopping online, more booking travel, more using sketchy websites to find the perfect gift, and all of that activity while using your devices. Well, it's likely it could expose more of your personal information, and God forbid that information ends up in the hands of a cyber criminal. Well, you're going to have a much bigger problem on your hands than an online store just running out of the gift that you promised somebody that you love. And they will stop threats to your identity, like someone opening accounts in your names, and Norton Security protects your devices against cyber threats like malware. Now, look, nobody can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor every single transaction at every single business, but you have the very best in LifeLock with Norton Security, the most comprehensive protection for your identity and your devices. Now, just go to LifeLock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock. Use the promo code Hannity, and you save 15% off your first year. LifeLock.com, 1-800-LifeLock, promo code Hannity.
The intersection at Highland Avenue and Olive Street dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And sections of East Texas Street are still blocked off between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at the First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. And Miss Erin has local news up next, and boy, is there a lot of it.
Massive fire at a local church. We'll talk more about that. Snowstorm in North Carolina forces the cancellation of some flights locally. And is DOTD trying to help Santa Claus?
Okay, so big fire, First Baptist, and we chatted with Pastor Brad Jerkovich last hour about that situation. We'll replay bits and pieces of that. The mayor-elect of Shreveport, Adrian Perkins, joins us in less than 10 minutes. And Scott Hughes, political analyst. What's to analyze? I'm telling you, if he's going to come up with stuff that we haven't thought of.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he comes in. Plus Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Dozens of units remain on the scene at First Baptist Church in Bossier City. A fire reported early this morning causing heavy damage. No word yet on the cause of that blaze. A fire in Natchitoches Parish leaves 2 dead, 4 others hurt. According to police, the fire happened early Sunday just north of Campty. At this time, no cause is known. Snowstorm in North Carolina forces the cancellation of a few flights between Shreveport and Charlotte. Another flight to Atlanta also canceled. You're advised to check ahead before going to the airport. A young girl has died in a car crash in Bossier. 9-year-old Brooklyn Dunn died following a car wreck on the Teague Parkway. According to police, the driver of the car was suffering from a medical emergency when his vehicle slammed into a guardrail. Dunn, who was in a safety seat, was ejected from the car, suffering fatal injuries. The male driver and a 5-year-old were also hurt, but are expected to recover. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running as he wins the race for mayor. He'll move into the transition phase today and begin putting his team together. Perkins got 64% of the vote and says Shreveport's future starts now.
As mayor, I will work to ensure that you get a chance to author your own destiny, that crime does not rob you of your promise, that a lack of opportunity does not deprive you of a quality of life or send you to other cities seeking one.
Ollie Tyler had this message for Shreveporters.
Together, we can still make this city the best it has ever been. I ask you to continue to embrace this city with your hearts, to create an atmosphere of hope and pride. Thank you for your support and prayers as we finish out this term.
Kyle Ardoin wins the Secretary of State's race.
I stand before you humbled, thankful, and ready to serve. I'm most deeply grateful to God and to you, the people of Louisiana, for bestowing your trust upon me.
He defeated Democrat Gwen Collins Greenup in Saturday's special election. Ochsner Health System announcing they will raise their minimum wage to $12 an hour. Nearly 1,200 workers in the system will get about a $4 an hour bump. The new pay structure goes into place on January 20th. President Warner Thomas says the raise is the right thing to do for their workers and will help attract new, qualified employees. Alcohol propositions get approved in Bossier. Matt Parker with that.
Voters in Bossier Parish, District 2, unanimously approved 5 separate propositions related to alcohol sales. The propositions allow the sale of beer, wine, and hard liquor at stores, restaurants, and bars with proper permits. Before the measures were approved, many business owners in the area were afraid they would be forced to shut down if voters voted no. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
For the first time in franchise history, the Saints are back-to-back division champs. New Orleans clinches the NFC South with a come-from-behind 28-14 win over Tampa Bay. The Saints trailed 14-3 in the third quarter, but scored 25 unanswered points to avenge an earlier loss to the Bucs. Coach Sean Payton.
Thought the defense after the first drive really played exceptionally well. Thought the special teams won that battle, and then I felt like offensively we finished in it was a good win, obviously an important win.
The Saints now 11-2 on the season. DOTD is helping Santa Claus these days. Those digital signs on I-20 say Santa sees all. Buckle up. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here is Ruben.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of Uri Drive and Southfield Road. And we're still dealing with some sections of East Texas Street being blocked off between Airline Drive and Benton Road due to a fire at the First Bossier Baptist Church. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
We're on.
101.7
We're on now.
FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. That's Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884.
Professional broadcasting going on in here.
In studio for a little bit is the mayor-elect of Shreveport, Adrian Perkins. A, congratulations. B, welcome back to KEEL.
Thank you. Thank you.
C, I asked you in the hall, I said, so, a little sleep deprived? And you said, absolutely not. Ready to hit the ground running.
That's it.
So tell me about your weekend starting, say, middle of the day on Saturday, Election Day.
Oh, middle of the day on Saturday, I was out with my people on the corners, and I told them that morning when I speak to all my volunteers before they head out, and I told them I'm not going to put you out there and I'm not out there. So I hit about About a half a dozen corners, and stayed out there waving Adrian Perkins signs, waving to the voters, encouraging everybody to get out to vote.
Was the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks or month even since the general election, what were you doing, 20-hour days it seemed like?
Yeah, we were working pretty hard. We wouldn't let up. You know, the most important part to us was actual December 8th. November 6th was our warm-up. So, yeah, we pushed pretty hard. And we're going to continue to push.
You told us when you were sitting in that very chair a month or so ago, first three things when you're elected mayor, fire the police chief was number one. Second one was audit the water sewer department. Third was funding for the broadband. Still your top three today?
Yeah, I would say definitely my top three. And I talked about funding for the broadband is going to be kind of put into that chief technology officer that I talked about during my acceptance speech. So that chief technology officer, we're already looking at that position. So we've already done some analysis on who would be the strongest person for that position, and we've reached out to some organizations as well that help fund that.
You have some real bright ideas, lots of great plans. We don't have any money. That's what everyone's going to ask you today. They're approving the budget tomorrow. Where do you get the money to fund everything you want to do?
Yeah, well, there'll be a lot of private dollars, but I got to tell you, there's a lot of space in our budget right now. There's a lot of overlap in our city budget that we can get rid of. So we got to be more efficient with our dollars. It's like any household. If you need to pay your bills, you need to cut costs somewhere. So that's how we're going to do it.
Let's talk policing a minute. Ben Raymond is now the substitute chief. Alan Crump is on medical leave as still at chief. What is your plan for dealing with that situation?
Yeah, so we can't do anything because he's protected. You know, Chief Crump is protected under civil service laws, so we can't do anything until about July. That's when we're assuming that he'll step down because he'll max out his pension. And at that point, we're going to convene a commission to help me convene a commission of law enforcement experts to help me choose the next police chief. And Ben Raymond, you know, I've heard great reviews from him in the interim from people around him, so, you know, he can throw his name in the hat as well.
But he's not. We talked to Ron Machota about that, who said you could remove a chief for cause while they're on medical leave. But he also said that Raymond was not certified as chief. Will you move in the direction of getting Raymond certified, or do you want to wait?
Well, to your first point, we'll look at every option that we have. I don't think it's right to place a tax burden on the people of Shreveport to be paying for 2 police chiefs. So that addresses the first point. And about the second point, if you know, the interim chief Raymond or substitute chief Raymond he wants to be certified and wants a job, then yeah, he has the opportunity just like the other candidates.
Chief administrative officer. Lots of rumors going around. There were 2 or 3 names being bandied about pre-election. If you want to tell us, we'd be more than willing to listen. But do you have a date in your head to make those announcements and some others?
No, we haven't set a hard line because we're not. My priority isn't timeline. My priority is getting it right. So we haven't set a hard line. We're early in a transition period. So no, we won't
be looking 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 names that you've been thinking about for a while.
And their names will be tossed in a hat at the right time. But as of now, we're going to make sure we get this right. So yeah. Sadly, I can't disclose anything further than that.
Sadder for you than me.
Let me follow up on that, because I heard from a couple of people who came to you and asked, you know, could they be considered, and you told them kind of bluntly you weren't making any promises. Can you tell me today you have made no deals with anyone, supported your campaign or not, about positions at city government?
Yes. Absolutely not. This is early in the transition period. We're going to have a very transparent process. As we convene the advisory board for the transition committee, the transition teams, the public will know about it. So just look forward to some press releases this week on timelines, etc.
You had made the point a bunch of times during the campaign, in fact, a couple of times in the studio, that in your mind and in the minds of a lot of really smart people, not that you're not, sorry, is that this election was very much maybe more about a generational shift than it was parties or race. You still feel that way?
And looking at it, it absolutely was big for our generation. There's no doubt about that, right? I'm the second youngest mayor of Shreveport, but it was also, I'm proud of the fact that everybody came together. A 64% mandate, everybody came together and wanted change. They wanted something better for our city. So it means a lot for our generation, but essentially everybody gets a seat at the table now. If millennials didn't have a seat right now, we've just pulled up a seat to the table, and we get to work with everybody.
64% is a lot. What do you think about that? What did you feel as those returns were coming in?
I mean, I'm humbled by it. I'm blown away that the city, wanted to support me in such a strong way, gave me such a mandate, and you better believe we're going to make good on it.
I have a question to ask you about the people who currently work for city government. Can you sit? Can we tie you to the chair a minute?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
I'm here for you guys this morning.
Thanks.
Awesome. And not sleep deprived.
No.
More with Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins on the way. 18 past 8 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM 710. Keel Rubens here. Traffic update.
Still keeping an eye on some traffic delays due to a fire on East Texas Street near the First Baptist Church in Bossier. And we have some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Twenty past 8 o'clock. Keel Sports Update for Monday. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk at 11:30. The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints trailed Tampa Bay 14-3 in the third quarter, but it felt worse than that Sunday. A second consecutive loss appeared imminent. But jock of all trades, Taysom Hill burst through a seam and blocked a Buccaneers punt, energizing the Saints immediately. Mark Ingram quadrupled the rushing output soon after with an 11-yard run. 4 plays later, Drew Brees connected with Zach Line for a touchdown. Add in Alvin Kamara's 2-point conversion, and the Saints were within 3. And the Saints scored on their next 4 drives after that block punt en route to a 28-14 win to lock up the NFC South title for the second straight year. Brees put the Saints ahead for good on one of his 4th and goal up and over quarterback sneaks. Ingram put the game away by dragging a Buccaneer along for the ride on a 17-yard touchdown run. And thanks to Chicago's win over the Rams last night, the Saints currently are the top seed in the NFC. Dak Prescott nearly gave the game away Sunday afternoon, but rallied with a record performance to lead the Cowboys to a 29-23 overtime win over the Eagles. The Houghton native threw 2 costly interceptions, 1 in the end zone, and lost a fumble that allowed Philadelphia to stick around, but he shook off those mistakes to throw a 28-yard strike to Amari Cooper to give Dallas a 16-9 fourth quarter lead. That same combo connected on a 75-yard bomb that broke a 16-all tie. In overtime, after Ezekiel Elliott kept the lone drive alive with a first down pickup on 4th and 1, Prescott fired in Cooper's direction again. The Eagles' Rasul Douglas got a hand on it, deflected the ball higher into the air and into Cooper's hands. After reeling it in, Cooper bolted into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Dak finished with career highs in completions, attempts, and yards and a 42 for 54, 455-yard day. Cooper, 10 catches, 217 yards. Indianapolis snapped Houston's 9-game winning streak with a 24-21 win in Houston. And big news, Castor native and former NSU Demon hoopster Lee Smith was voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Today's Game Era Committee. He received a yay vote from all 16 members. Harold Baines also was elected, picking up the necessary 12 votes needed for induction. Shreveport's Albert Bell received fewer than 5 votes. From the sports desk of 11:30 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, 24 past 8 o'clock. The latest from the fire this morning at First Baptist Bossier, a ton of units from Bossier, FD, and even Shreveport on the scene. What's
19 from Bossier, 11 from Shreveport. I just got this update here. It looks like fire was called in around 5:40. No one was hurt. Fire began in the daycare center. As of right now, it's under control, and they're putting out whatever the flame ups or whatever, and investigating the cause. So that's where we're at right now.
A little more or a lot more as we'll see what we can get from Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins. Hey, congratulations once again. You wanted to talk about that fire, though. You heard about that. How'd you hear about that this morning already?
I got a phone call about it this morning. So, when I came on, I wanted to thank them for going over and assisting Bossier, and for us to keep our first responders in our prayers. So I'm glad that everything is under control and it worked out, and we'll continue to keep that church in our prayers as well.
That sets up a theme of everybody cooperating.
Oh, yeah.
Working together.
Collaboration is big.
You've got a lot of city employees, department heads that are waking up today wondering, will they be a part of your team? I know you want a new CAO, probably a new city attorney. What about other city department heads?
Yeah. So, again, we're really early in the transition process, and we're making sure we build the strongest team. So in some departments, we're very much going to open it up to internal promotion for some people, and also give some department heads an opportunity to interview. I told everybody before, we're not, I'm not promising to do a clean sweep. We're going to make sure that we get the right people in while maintaining institutional knowledge and have the strongest team possible.
What is your message to department heads this morning? You're going to call them in when you take office. Are you going to ask for their resignations? Are you going to ask for them, or are you going to hand them pink slips? What is your plan? Do you know yet?
So my message to them this morning is to continue to work as hard as possible for the city of Shreveport. Again, we're really early in the process, and I'll be speaking with each of them, about their jobs and about what they've done for the city. And, like I said, I'll have the strongest people on my team. So everybody will get an opportunity outside of those certain positions that we're already looking forward to, that we know are critical in going forward.
Swearing in is about 3 weeks away on the 29th, I guess. That's not much time, it seems to me.
No, and I got to point this out. The city of Shreveport is interesting because we don't have transition procedures or documents. So we're building that kind of institutional knowledge as we go along.
When you say documents, what does that mean? In other words, nobody hands you a schematic and says, here how stuff works?
No, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So today we're doing our documentation request, our formal documentation request to the administration.
Do people get with the mayor's people, and do you get a walkthrough?
Yeah, there is no hard line procedures whatsoever. So not only are we working with a condensed timeline, keep in mind New Orleans had about 5 months of transition.
And you've got 3 weeks.
Yeah, we have 3 weeks. So we're working with a condensed timeline, and we're going to be building those transition procedures so that we can keep city government running smoothly, not just for my administrations, but the administrations to come.
I would think in this regard, military experience will help you greatly.
Yeah, and it does, which is surprised me. Even in the military, when I was commanding my smallest unit of a platoon, you have to have transition documents and procedures in place. It's called a left seat, right seat ride. So when I heard about a city with a $500 million budget and about 200,000 people not having that, it surprises. But we're going to put in the work. We're going to put in the work to get it done.
You said you would like Mayor Tyler to remain engaged. She urged her supporters to work with you to unite our city.
Yes.
What has she told you? What have you guys talked about since Saturday? What's the plan? When are you guys meeting?
Yeah. So we haven't spoken yet. We reached out. We kept missing each other.
You have not spoken to her yet?
We have not spoken yet. She reached out. She told us on the news. She reached out. We haven't seen. We didn't see it, but we reached out to them as well. So we've been missing each other, but we are gonna speak with her as soon as we possibly can. I think it's very important. And as I said in my speech, the election's over. What's most important is for us to come together. It was her sentiments as well. So we're gonna. I'm confident we'll make good on that promise from both of our ends. So.
You'd like to sit down with her?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I have a lot to learn from her. Again, very grateful for her service to the city.
So it's Saturday night, and returns starting to come in, and the more that come in, it like 65, 35, 60. I think the final was 64-36. And you're back in the room, the green room, if you will, with your family, friends, advisors, et al. But at some point, you had to have that first moment alone when you knew you had won. When you had that moment, when you're looking in the mirror, when everybody else is gone, when you're surrounded by nobody but you. Was it a like, what have I done moment, or yeah, or somewhere in between?
Robert, I'm going to be completely frank right now. I have yet to have that moment. I've been completely focused on this transition and making sure I get this right. I think that's something that I've taken from the military too, not to really like dwell on things, but just focus on what you have to execute in front of you. So maybe it'll come tomorrow or weeks ahead. I'm not sure. But as of now, no. I'm just as confident as I was before when I was telling the people of Shreveport what we can accomplish.
What are you most, I'll follow up on his question with this. What are you most concerned with regard to what you may lack in running a city? What is the skill set you're most concerned about that you're going to need the biggest help with?
Just the intricacies of city government, like the small details of city government, because I haven't worked in those positions. So managers don't necessarily have to have the, you have the people that run hospitals have MBAs. They aren't doctors. They don't know how to operate. So I'm one of the leaders where I do like to drill down a bit. So that's where my weaknesses are going to be, making sure that I learn and I can go a mile deep within the various departments of the city. And right now, like I said, I can go pretty deep in some departments, but I want to have that kind of universal knowledge to where if I spot a problem, I can go in myself and talk to the people and we can figure it out together.
Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins, can't thank you enough for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in, too. Very kind. Greatly appreciated.
Of course.
And good luck, of course.
Thank you.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, traffic and weather updates right now. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some traffic delays on East Texas Street near the First Baptist Church in Bossier due to a fire. And we have a minor accident near some backed up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Several units are on the scene of a massive fire at First Baptist Church in Bossier on East Texas Street. The fire started sometime early this morning. No word on what started that blaze. A snowstorm in North Carolina forcing the cancellation of a few flights between Shreveport and Charlotte. Another flight to Atlanta also canceled. You're advised to check ahead before going to the airport. Voters in Bossier Parish's District 2 out in the Houghton area unanimously approved 5 separate propositions related to alcohol sales. The propositions allow the sale of beer, wine, and hard liquor at stores, restaurants, and bars with the proper permits. Adrian Perkins hits the ground running as he wins the race for mayor. He'll move into his transition phase today and begin putting his team together.
A city where you and your family can thrive, not just survive. A place you, your children, and your grandchildren can proudly call home.
Incumbent Ollie Tyler had this message for local residents.
It has truly truly been my honor and pleasure to serve you, the citizens of Shreveport. Thank you. And I want to say to you once again, God bless you. And let's unite around Mr. Perkins to make sure that Shreveport continues to be the place we're all proud to call home.
Louisiana voters decided to keep Republican Kyle Ardoin as Secretary of State.
The Secretary of State's office is turning the page and entering a new chapter, a chapter I believe will be the most meaningful and impactful in history.
Ardoin got 59% of the vote. A health system gives employees a bump. Matt Parker with that.
Auctioner Health System has announced they will be raising their minimum wage to $12 an hour. Nearly 1,200 employees in the system will get about a $4 an hour bump. The new pay structure will go into place January 20th. President Warner Thomas says the raise is the right thing to do for their employees and will help attract new qualified workers. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Tragedy in Bossier. 9-year-old Brooklyn Dunn dies following a car wreck on the Teague Parkway. Police say the driver of the vehicle was suffering from a medical emergency when his car slammed into a guardrail. Dunn, who was in the safety seat, was ejected and suffered fatal injuries. The male driver and a 5-year-old were also hurt, but are expected to recover. A fire in Natchitoches Parish leaves 2 dead and 4 others hurt. According to police, the fire happened early Sunday morning just north of Campty. At this time, no cause is known. A former Miss Kentucky, who's a teacher in West Virginia, is charged with sending nude photos to a 15-year-old former student. News reports say 28-year-old Ramsey Bierce was arrested and charged with 4 felony counts of distributing or displaying obscene matter to a minor. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 23 away from 9 o'clock. In studio for a while now is political analyst Scott Hughes. To talk about the mayor's race, results from Saturday. I said early on, which is why we have you in to do the heavy lifting. I kind of went, 65-35, give or take. I said that's about what was anticipated. What's to analyze?
Well, I mean, overall, we have a new mayor, and I think if you look back, and I look back, one thing about your show is you tape your show, and so you can go back and look at the way we kind of led up to this. And if you look back several months when we first said that Perkins was going to be a threat to the mayor, there were people that said, "Oh, you're crazy," and some of us saw this coming, and I think you talked about it with the mayor. I think at the end, this was not about Tyler or about Perkins. This was about a new Shreveport, and I think when I saw the mayor-elect give his speech, I was very pleased that he didn't throw back against past administrations. He said this is about going forward. And I think that was one of the things that we've seen in past administrations, not just Ms. Tyler, but all the way back, is you'd come in and you'd blame your predecessor. That's sort of politics 101. You come in and, all the problems are my predecessor. And I haven't seen that yet with Adrian. I haven't seen that in his campaign. And hopefully we don't see that with the new council or anything. It's a new life. And I think that's what this campaign became about. Shreveporters, a lot of them millennials, a lot of them people that are Adrian's age, that went to school, that stayed here, said, we want to do something different. And he became his campaign became what represented that possible new day for Shreveport.
I had said to Adrian when he was here, I'd said that a couple of other times. Other folks have made the same point that is this more of a generational mayor's race as opposed to party or race?
I think that it is, and I think if you just looked at the parties, meaning the watch parties that took place Saturday night, you saw a distinctly different image. If you looked at one watch party, it was a lot of older Shreveport, traditional Shreveport, people that have been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the Adrian Perkins video, and being on the air live, we had the benefit of watching the tape pretty much all night. I think some of y'all were there in the room.
Sure.
There were a lot of people in that room that were young, that were under 40, people that no one could look at the camera and say, I know who that is.
So
This was
pardon me,
new people.
What you're telling me is what you're saying is, let us not underestimate what a watershed moment this is in Shreveport, perhaps Shreveport history.
I think it could be. I think that people made the illusion almost immediately he's the second youngest mayor ever. Well, the youngest mayor was Jim Gardner, largely considered one of the great mayors of Shreveport history.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't know. I'm not putting Adrian in Jim Gardner's position yet. Let's stop, of making this the second coming. I think we have to wait and see what he does as mayor. But I think the potential is there. I think that when you look at the enthusiasm his campaign garnered between all parts of Shreveport. I mean, yes, he's a Democrat. Yes, he's an African American. But I don't think at any point his candidacy got viewed as a Democratic African American. He got viewed as a generational movement to try to help fix Shreveport. He had white people. He had Republicans. He had independents. And that's why I keep going back to that imagery of his watch party. That room was packed. That room was excited. That room had energy. And if that energy can carry over, and I think his challenge is going to be, can he move over to governing? And we can talk about that a little bit. But, can he work with this new council? But we also have a new council. I think we focus so much on the mayor's race, we missed that as well. We have a new council.
What are you most looking for from Adrian in, let's say, his first 30 days? What are you watching for to see if he's on the right track or not?
And does that matter that much? Seriously.
Well, you asked what matters to me. I'll give you mine. I think what matters is that Adrian sets his priorities. He kind of outlined them, and that he achieves them. I think one of the things that people want to feel is they want to feel that we're making progress. They want to feel that the city is going to move in the right direction. And so he outlined some of his, and I agree with some of his. I think the police chief, the crime is going to be very important. But I think he also did a good job of outlining some of the box that he's in. There are civil service rules, and you just cannot come in and fire a police chief. You have to come in and find a way to either get the police chief to resign, fire him for cause, that's a different situation,
right,
or just work around the hand you've been dealt. And I think he was kind of talking about the third. How do I work around the hand that I'm dealt? But he eventually will have a new police chief. But given that challenge, he still has to come out swinging in the first 100 days, 3 months. The second thing I'm looking at, he talked about, a lot of people want to see, because no deference to Adrian, but they want to see who the adults in the room are. I think they view Adrian as the political leader, the enthusiasm, the direction. But who are the adults that are going to run the government? Who are going to be there as his department heads? So those first hires are going to be critical. The CAO, the mayor, and I love the chief information officer.
Have you heard anything about that? Any names being tossed around that we may not be aware of?
None that we haven't talked about before. I mean, there was a lot of speculation pre-election with Oliver Jenkins, who's coming off the council, who has experience.
I got a text saying you can't come off the council. You have to sit out 2 years before you can take a job with the administration. Is that accurate? Do you know that?
I will say I do not know if that's in the Shreveport charter. I know that's a very common rule at the state level, very common rule at the federal level, that there's an anti-lobbying. You can't move straight from an elected job to being inside the entity of which you managed.
Right.
And so that'll be something I'm sure that the news will break apart the next couple of days.
You said a couple of seconds ago, you said we can talk about governing a little bit. Well, let's talk about governing more than a little bit. New council, a whole bunch of new members. Do you see that with a new mayor? Do you see this? Do you see the new council as more helpful than maybe being an albatross?
I think the new council is going to be interesting. You have 3 pure new members, people that have never served on the council before, but yet those members coming in bring a certain level of expertise. John Nicholson in C is an attorney. He's run, he's been the Shreveport Bar president. He's been some statewide organizations. He has a lot of management expertise. Grayson Butcher comes in. He is a realtor appraiser by day, but he also has served as a fire chief in one of the districts and as a justice of the peace. He has some real expertise. And Levette Fuller has served, among other places, on the MPC. So these 3 new people coming in aren't just new raw.
They're not rookies.
They've been around government. The fourth is Reverend James Green, who's served before. So James is no rookie to the council. He's new to this, but I think they're going to bring new energy. And then you pair them with 3 interesting folks, Mr. Bowman, Mr. Fleury, and Mr. Bradford one again. So you have a council that's set to kind of hit the ground running. I think the greatest challenge for the new mayor, for Adrian Perkins, is going to be, and my dad is an Air Force colonel, so I'll use that analogy. He's retired U.S. Air Force. When you grow up in the military, you grow up in a very command and control structure. It is very clear who's in charge. It's very clear when orders are given, they're going to be followed, and they're not going to be questioned. And so there's order, there's discipline. And so I think you saw Adrian run a very good campaign. His campaign looked like a military operation. It was targeted. It was disciplined. It did what it had to do. And so I think that Adrian can bring that command and control side of him to the operations of city government, the side he controls. But he's going to have to step over. Military guys often struggle with the politics because now they have to cross over and work with these 7 individuals who don't necessarily have to respect that command and control structure. They're their own elected officials.
Look, Scott, back to crime a minute. We can talk about crime's gonna be our priority. Adrian Perkins as mayor, the day he gets sworn in, he's not going to stop a man from shooting his wife that night because they got in a fight. What do you anticipate and what do you expect or want to see from our mayor when we do have our first episode or second episode or a few nights of some tough crime situations in the city? Should he handle it differently than Mayor Tyler did?
The answer to that question is yes. I think the citizens have sent that message. They want to see crime handled differently. So we'll start there. What could you do? Some things are optics. Some things are reality. For starters, if I was the mayor, I would start showing up at crime scenes. I think that sends a message. If you are the mayor out at 1 a.m. at the shooting and you're there with your police chief, you're there on the scene with your officers, you're sending a message that this is important, that another killing, another shooting, another drive-by is just not something that happened. And I think you've got to send that confidence. You've got to tell the citizens, I'm going to be here for you. And I think one of the things he talked about that he was proud of is that he walked every street in the city. He tried. That he went down streets no one had been to years. And I think from a visual, you see that in some other towns. The mayor shows up at major crime scenes. The mayor is there to send an issue. I think number 2, you certainly need to work with your police department. You need to ask the question, what can you do? How can we stop this? Let's go back to another visual that was very bad for the previous administration. I would start to sit down or have my police department sit down with the other law enforcement entities. The sheriff, who's been out there for a couple of years, kind of saying, I'm willing to help. Maybe I can do more in the rural parts, maybe to help you focus. The state police, I would sit down with any law enforcement entity that can help. And then ultimately, I think the number is just the truth is going to be in the results. Can you find a way to, yes, make crime go down, but let's be fair, and let's be fair to the mayor. Crime has been trending down statistically. That's not the issue. The issue is perception. The issue is, do you feel safe? And I think everything else he wants to do depends on, can he make Shreveport a place where people feel safe?
The council's going to adopt the budget tomorrow. Do you feel, I kind of feel like maybe Mr. Perkins is going to get shocked when he realizes the constraints that this budget are going to, because it's tight. We're putting less than 2% or right at 2% in reserve, which is lower than any city should have it at. Is that going to hit him upside the face by how tight this budget really is?
Well, I'll say this. I watch council a lot. I know that Mr. Perkins and many candidates that ran, some of the city council candidates that won, have been going to the council meetings. So I don't think the budget's going to catch them off guard. What I heard the mayor-elect say was, I think he's aware where the budget is. What I heard him say very skillfully was, I don't like that budget. The budget may be balanced. The budget may be drawing down some reserves or having only a 2%. What I heard him say is there's places in that budget I can make changes. Now, I don't think he can make changes by tomorrow. He can certainly do changes. But what I heard is we're going to go in and look at top to bottom every department. And he believes, at least what I heard him say is, he believes there may be money in that budget. Now, what he's saying without saying it is there's going to be changes at City Hall. There may be department changes. And I think that's one thing that in any department of government, whether it's the federal, the state, or in this case, the local municipality, nobody wants to come in and say, let's start with a zero-based budgeting. Let's say, what should we do as government? What should that department look like? We always kind of start with last year's department and say, oh, can we drop 1 or 2 personnel? What's the increase? I kind of got the impression he may be thinking that there is money in that budget, which is going to mean moving personnel around and possibly making some hard decisions. And I personally like his choice to begin with a chief information officer, chief technology officer. Many of the problems Shreveport's had, the water billing. The traditional way has been to saying, look at the department, audit it, make the current manager fix it. The problem is technology. We need someone that understands technology. It may not be someone in the water billing department. It may be a whole better approach of how we do city business.
Scott Hughes, political analyst. Thanks for your time.
Thank you all.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
A judge in Washington, D.C. has ruled that the Clinton email scandal was one of the gravest modern offenses to government transparency. And he said that at best, it was negligence born out of incompetence.
President Trump has been saying this for a very long time. In fact, earlier this year, he told White House counsel that he wanted to order the Justice Department, even though he doesn't have the authority to order a prosecution, but he wanted the Justice Department to prosecute 2 of his political adversaries, his 2016 challenger, Hillary Clinton, and the former FBI director, James Comey.
There have been people inside the Department of Justice that have been protecting Hillary Clinton. At least that's what it looks like, according to this case.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
The album that changed her life. Right?
Yeah, it was.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright, and Erin McCarty. As a guy, because Christmas is just about, 2 weeks from tomorrow, right?
Golly.
Is it time, if you're a guy shopper, is it time to panic?
You need to get started.
What I'm telling you is you're starting to feel nervous. You're that sort of lost in the desert of Christmas shopping feeling.
Yes.
Louisiana Coin and Jewelry on Line Avenue can solve all your problems. No guesswork, and you come out on Christmas morning looking like a hero. Items at Louisiana Coin and Jewelry that would be on any woman's Christmas wish list. Diamond stud earrings and pendants and rings and tennis bracelets. Watches, all the top luxury brands. Designer jewelry, crosses, coin jewelry, all just one-of-a-kind stuff that you literally will not find anywhere else in the Arklatex and at unbelievable savings. Panic ye not, fellers, this Christmas season when it comes to shopping. Louisiana Coin and Jewelry on Line Avenue. Tell them Robert sent you. Tell them Keel pushed you in the door. 60 years they have of serving the Arklatex, family-owned and operated. Louisiana Coin and Jewelry, Line Avenue, corner of Uptown Shopping Center in Shreveport. Here's Kim Commando.
Does your television have the so-called soap opera effect? The feature is automatically turned on in most new TVs, but you really should turn it off to get the best picture. Kim Commando with your Monday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by Boll & Branch, the perfect gift for everyone on your list. BollandBranch.com, promo code KIM. A default setting in new HD TVs and 4K TVs can turn everything into a soap opera mess. Techie speaking, it adds frames so that everything moves smoothly across the screen, the way soap operas appear. Works great for sports, but it makes movies look horrible. Tom Cruise, yes, the actor, took to the internet to say turn it off, especially on his movies. The option will be in your settings menu, and what it's called depends on the make of your TV. Look for something like True Motion, Motion Smoothing, or Auto Motion Plus. If you watch a lot of movies, do turn it off. But I'd leave it on if you're watching Tom Cruise and Rock of Ages. It just might make the movie bearable. I'm Kim Commando. I may be America's digital pro, but even I enjoy forgetting the tech when it comes to the new Epson Fast Photo Scanner. Scan stacks of photos from wallet size to 8x10s, even Polaroids. Fast Photo offers automatic two-sided scanning, so you can capture any handwritten notes on the back. Damaged or faded photos? Fast Photo has the software to automatically restore your memories. And best of all, it's so easy. Order yours today when you visit epson.com/fastphoto.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source.com/score total visits.
Still keeping an eye on some traffic delays on East Texas Street near the First Baptist Church in Bossier due to a fire. And we have a minor accident near some backed up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a warming trend ahead for the days ahead, and it looks like our next opportunity for rain back in the forecast Wednesday night and Thursday. Sunshine here today, cool temperatures at 52. A clear sky tonight, low 30. Sunny tomorrow, 60. Clouds increasing Wednesday, 62. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.